Yep, after dinner they wouldn't even come out. Oh, I think they came out and then they did a U-turn. I'd tell them they got all day to be inside. But they like that AC. I just missed the birds that flew over. Jenna was here yesterday. She's the manager for all 5 houses. She used to come in about once a week, but I hadn't heard her or seen her in the last long time. But maybe she came in and did some paperwork or something. I can usually hear when she comes in. Yeah, they don't bark at her, at least not a whole lot. Maybe a little when she first comes in. Not once they realize who she is. The obligatory bark. Hey, someone's at the door. She just comes right in. Most people do. Because it's actually a lobby. Facebook has been kind of cutting me off on videos, so I understand they're not really a video thing. So that's why I'm putting them on YouTube first and then directing it to there because you don't have to worry about getting cut off. The parking lot, the tea plant, wasn't out like this, to be sure. Drums of nuclear waste were stacked out in it, about half a dozen of them. And we had, the morning stretch sessions out there. It was the only time I got away from my computer. So they had an all-plant meeting out there. Jerry Falk was the plant manager, who actually never actually met. His office was right next to Paul's. And the coffee pot was right outside their offices. And, I was getting a lot of coffee, of course, but I just got a lot of work done. So, my shoes are loud. They were new. So they made a lot of noise on the concrete. But it didn't bother me. I usually whistle down the hall, too. I was the only one that did that. But, Paul was the new guy to him. I mean, he just started working a few weeks before I did as a manager. And so in the all-plant meeting on the parking lot, Jerry said, all new people stand up. I stood up, and then Paula stood up, and most of the people in our office stood up, so I sat like that because I was just there for the summer, or the rest of the summer, I should say. And they were, I don't know if there was that many others that stood up or not. But, yeah, he said that Jerry said he wanted to get out of the rail car business, which I didn't know what that meant. But later on, I'd seen videos of guys that worked at G-Plant back in the day, and they were talking about they would load the irradiated, not fuel, but irradiated scrap, or 238, into the rail cars and then haul them over to T-Plant with empty cars in between the load and the engine so that the driver wouldn't get cooked. And after that, I guess they loaded into the canyon or whatever. I'd have a lot more to learn about that, as I didn't get to see it, any of it, other than my computer in a concrete room with the windows, which is fine because I didn't need them to get work done. But our trailer had windows the summer before, but same basically in a cubicle. And Jerry said that they had found a coffee cup that had been in the cab of a crane. It had been there for 30 years, untouched. Now, I imagine some sort of Hanford hoodoo went along with that. You know, how they get into these superstitions kind of thing. Oh, don't move the cup, you know, whatever. I think some of that was going on, but I mean, it wasn't radioactive or anything, I don't think. Mention it. Just never got moved. Paul never introduced me to Jerry, and I never introduced myself, although I didn't see him that much, or Paul for that matter. I would bring in stuff for Paul, put it in his box, and then I'd come in the next day and he'd be stuff on my chair for me. Other than that, I mean, I'd send him emails, but he'd walk through on occasion, say, you got to get done by the time, you know, the 2-week guideline that we set. I said, nope. Oh, okay. It was 2 or 3 years before I started, so. The legal deadline for it. I mean, there's a lot of legal deadlines that they had to set, even though they didn't actually expect them to get done. But it's kind of a framework to work from.